Hi, I'm Cranky Crumpet and I'm here with Ecutioner today. So she's come over just to show me how to do some basic skate maintenance. We're just going to start with how to clean your bearings.
So I've got my handy dandy bearing pull right here, and press the button, stick it in. You can kind of shimmy your bearings out.
Sometimes they're a bit difficult, aren't they?
They can be. Sometimes they'll pop out quite easily and sometimes they need a bit of elbow grease. But once you pull it out, they just slip off when you push the button.
So what kind of bearings do you have?
These skates,
Are these the ceramic ones?
have kind of been put together with a bunch of different bearings because I've had over the years a couple break and then I've just replaced them with other bearings. So what I'm using right now actually, these ones, so they're rock solids from the Better Bearings store. The people who run Better Bearings have taken care of my skates at different times at different events around Australia, and I think it's nice to support them because they're really cool people as well. So your bearings, these ones are looking pretty filthy. I'm a little bit embarrassed actually.
So I think we should note the difference in them. So these are a really cheap bearing that I've got here. It's got a cover on both sides where you've only got the one. Some bearings are like that though, and that's fine, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fine. I guess it's your preference. Like the more money you have,
The different kind of bearings you're going to get.
yeah, the more upgraded type of bearings you might want to get.
This one's like a stock standard, came out of a beginner skate. Well, that's a more expensive bearing.
Yeah, these are a little bit better, but they'll still do the same job. You just need to follow slightly different steps when you're cleaning them. So these plastic rubbery covers are called shields. So to get the shield off to clean the inside, I'm actually using a Better Bearings brooch. It's got a pin on the back, and I can just pop that sort of on the edge here and flick it out.
These can be a pain to get out.
Definitely. So when you flick it out, you'll see that this is what the shield looks like. Mine are really dirty. And then the bearings are on the inside. And that's what we're going to clean up because they're awful at the moment. So, I don't know what kind of bearing that is.
It's a moto bearing.
But these bearings have actually been machined, so you can't pop these out and clean them. Basically, oh, they're machined on one side, that's cool.
So they're open on the back.
So you can still put oil and stuff in there, but you can't pop the shield off. Some bearings are actually got it machined on both sides, so you can't open them at all. And with that type, if you basically you just use them until they're no good and then you throw them out. You can clean these ones, so that's cool.
This is more of a beginner skate than what Ebbs is working on. This is the entry-level Rydell, which has been much loved, as you can tell. So we've just got some gummies on this today with some pretty scummy bearings in them. And then Ebbs has a great idea about using a badge. We use a tool that my husband just had in the garage to get it out. And we've got the double shields on these ones. These are just an ABEC 5 standard bearing that came with the skate.
And if you skate through wet areas and they're getting wet, then you should probably clean them straight away, or you're going to end up with rusty ball bearings.
And we don't want that.
Nope. This is a bearing that I am just going to throw away. I don't know if you can see clearly, but it's just full of rust. It doesn't turn. Should have been cleaned a long time ago, and if you don't clean your bearings often, you're going to end up with some that look like this. Clean your bearings more often. Okay, so taking the bearings off, I've got this container here. This is a Bones bearing cleaner container, which is really handy because it allows you to separate your bearings when you're cleaning them. So the way this tool works is you unscrew this thing, can take apart these spacers, and then you slip your bearings on this tube in between, and then the spacer, and the bearings. Now what these spacers allow is for the liquid, the cleaning fluid, to get in between your bearings and clean them all nice.
So we also have this container. So you use this container if you don't have one of these?
Yeah, so if you don't have a cool cleaning tool like this one, you can just chuck them in any container that won't splurt liquid everywhere when you shake it. We're going to give these a real good shake.
And so we're cleaning them in, so you use the white spirits?
Yep, I've been using these white spirits for a few years. A ref recommended it to me ages ago because we couldn't get any of the like proper cleaning fluid.
Yep.
And it does quite a good job.
So me and my husband, we often use the acetone, which is done quite good too.
Yeah, acetone's real good.
They're just not harsh chemicals. So just do not use water.
No, do not use water. That will rust your equipment. We don't want that. So we don't need to put a lot of this, or a lot of cleaning fluid in our containers. This one I'll probably fill it up maybe a quarter to a third of the way. And then screw it in. And we're going to give it a real good shake.
Like a pancake mix.
We're going to shake and shake and shake.
You can already see the water going a bit gunky.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
So while you're shaking, can I use WD-40?
Don't use WD-40.
So I'll stick with the white spirits, acetone, and any dedicated skate cleaning stuff.
Yeah, a lot of citrus cleaners work well as well.
Approximately 10 hours later.
So I've been shaking for a while. I'm just going to pull it open and have a look at what's going on inside. It actually looks a bit better than I thought. Taking these out, I'm going to take a bit of a closer look. Just get the excess off. Much cleaner than they were. Just give these a bit of a wipe off the excess. When you're inspecting them, if they've still got a bit of grime or gunk in there, you can use like a toothbrush to give it a quick brush over. And if they need another shake, stick them back in and give them another shake. So after taking the bearings out of the shaker bottle, I'm just giving them a bit of a wipe down with a soft cloth. Some of these are pretty clean already, which is good, but some, when I wipe them down, are looking still pretty nasty. So got a clean bit there. If I give this one a bit of a wipe down, you can still see there's still quite a bit of gunk coming off these. So the bearings that look like this, I'm going to chuck back in for another shake, and the ones that are looking pretty good, they're just going to sit here and dry for 24 hours.
So here's some we prepared earlier. Pre-cleaned, pre-dried, ready to be lubed. So Ebbs, why do we have to lube the bearings after we clean them?
Well, it's metal, touching metal, and whenever you have that, they should be lubricated.
So you can use multiple different lubricants. We were saying earlier, you can use sewing machine lubricant. Maybe he was using trombone lubricant.
Trombone slide lubricant. It's actually just as thin as those ones, which is kind of interesting.
And you can also get, so we've got speed cream here, which is a Bones product, which is made for bearings. So basically just put, how many drops do you do, 1 or 2?
I usually put 1 on each side, so it's 2 drops.
So and these ones are open ones, so you'll find that it's good to have something underneath because it will go through when they're open like this.
And then give them a spin. So that will spread the oil throughout the bearing there. This one's got a little bit of a kink. Spread the oil out, and then we're ready to put the shields back on and stick them back on your skates.
So depending on the shield, but they're usually pretty easy. They just push back in. Wrong way.
Super simple.
And that's it. That's your bearing cleaned.
Done.
If there's anything you guys want to know for future videos, just leave us a comment, inboxes. If you'd like to join Wollongong Illawarra Roller Derby, we train Tuesdays and Fridays on court 3 at the UOW Sports Hub. And everyone is welcome. As long as you're 7 years and older, you can come down and have some fun with us. Awesome.